Coming up on Syracuse Sidelines, it's pandemonium at the Carrier Dome as SU knocks off a ranked opponent for the first time in 4 years. Fresh off an upset win over Virginia Tech, the Orange hit the road this week to take on Boston College. In his All-22 report, head coach Dino Babers takes a closer look at the Eagles' rushing attack. Plus, who's your favorite team?
Well, probably Yankees, because I got Yankee hats, Yankee shirts, because of family.
On this show, we cheer for the Orange. Syracuse Sideline starts right now. What a memorable moment. Head coach Dino Babers addressing his football team after SU's stunning win over 17th-ranked Virginia Tech. Welcome to Syracuse Sidelines. I'm Robin DeWin with Voice of the Orange, Matt Park. And Matt, you were in the locker room. What was that moment like?
Well, it's a privilege to be there, first of all, to be kind of let behind the curtain. But we've seen that in good and bad now going back for many years. What you see there, I think, is the outpouring of satisfaction for all that comes to winning a football game, which is hard to do, but it takes the contributions of coaches, players, support staff throughout the week, and then once you've done it, it's gearing up to try to do it again.
It was indeed a signature win for Coach Babers and his program. Despite being 3-touchdown underdogs to Tech, the Orange played their most complete all-around game of the season. Sophomore Eric Dungy was outstanding, becoming the first Syracuse quarterback in history to throw for over 300 yards and rush for over 100 yards in one game. Dungy's touchdown run late in the fourth quarter would seal it for the Orange, setting off a wild celebration inside the Carrier Dome. Granted, it's just one win, but for a rebuilding team like Syracuse, this win couldn't have come at a better time.
I mean, it means a lot. It's just nice to, have all of our hard work paying off, and, we know what we can do, and it's nice to actually do what we know we can do. So I feel like that the win, against a really good team like Virginia Tech, it was nice to have, the dome for everybody that was there. It was loud, and, that wasn't even, full to, at all, basically. But, for the guys, people who did come, we really appreciate it, and you guys are loud and help us out a lot.
This win just spring us to better things coming, for the near future. Guys are pretty young on the team. We got a pretty young team. We got a new coaching staff, and it's just going to get better. It's like we only progress. We're going to go up from here, So guys should expect better things from Cuse Nation coming up.
I think this is one of the biggest games I've won since I've been here, and it shows recruits that we could compete, and the system works, and it shows that we really have a good team going forward.
For more on the big win as the Orange get ready to face Boston College on Saturday, here's Matt with head coach Dino Babers.
Okay, Coach, lots of talk this week about the game and about the celebration after the game. The fan base sort of let behind the curtain there for a brief moment. What are we seeing? What's that outpouring represent to you?
It's just the emotion of a football game. The two things that we tell our players they have to bring to a game is fantastic effort and fantastic enthusiasm. And when you play a game like that and all that emotion is wrapped up into the game, what you're seeing is pure emotion, pure joy, pure love. And that's what we do after wins. We do something else after losses, but after wins, that's what we do. And it was excited to see those guys get to have that time, have their moment.
Well, it's obvious that a lot goes into that, and it wasn't just Saturday. It was the build-up of that. It was the coming off of the game against Wake Forest. We can talk about how the game was played in your mind. And it was a physical game where we saw you hit with a team that had hitters and experienced players.
One of the things of running a spread offense is that people think that you're not going to be physical. And one of the things that I'm always speaking to the team about is it would bother me if someone would say my team wasn't a physical team. We have to embrace the physicality of the game. And when you embrace it and you enjoy that part of it, then you can do all the fun stuff like double passes and stuff like that and safety blitzes. But I felt that that was the first time that we really, really embraced that part of the game, and it was evident in our play and some of the guys that you're showing tape on the show today. Davon being one of them represents exactly what we're talking about right now.
Davon Ellison, 11 tackles in that game. We'll feature him in our next segment coming up. How do you build off of that game? We see so often teams, they can get that and they can arrive. It can be a springboard to great things, or it cannot. For you, how did it set the tone for the rest of the season and a tough roadie here at Boston College this week?
Well, I think the first part of our season, to me, was an occasionally great season. You know, we had ups, we had downs, we've got injuries, we've got turmoil, but the bottom line is we haven't been consistent yet. And what my lecture to the team was, let's be consistently good on the back half of this season. Does that mean we're going to win every game? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is try to give us a consistent performance so that we can dictate, okay, some outcomes.
How much does a win coach help you in program building? That's what this year is about, right? Is setting the tone for what is to come. Do you get the ear a little bit more? Do guys come in with a little more bounce in their step onto the practice field after a win like that?
I think anytime you take over a new program, there's going to be those that jump on board right away and for lack of a better word, a little bit of the naysayers. When you have a win like that, a total team win with the emotion that you saw in the locker room after that win, I think it comes a time where you draw the line, and the line is now, okay, you see what we can do when we all do it together. We play with great emotion and great enthusiasm. Now, we're leaving. Who wants to come? And everybody's welcome who wants to come. And it's a signature win. And if things happen the way I anticipate them happening, 3 or 4 years from now, we'll all be pointing back to the Virginia Tech game as when it all started.
Well, certainly an attention grabber in more ways than one. It's the Orange's first win against a top 25 team since November of 2012. Looking to see if they can follow that up. Certainly there'll be ranked games ahead. Now the Orange go on the road to BC on the weekend. Robin?
Thanks, guys. Syracuse looks to even up their record to 4-4 on Saturday when they meet up with their former Big East rival Boston College. This will mark the 50th meeting between the Orange and the Eagles, with SU holding a 29-19 lead in the all-time series. Coming up, he's been the glue that's been holding the Syracuse secondary together. We take a closer look at Davon Ellison. Plus, in his All-22 report, Coach Babers gives us his take on slowing down the Boston College running attack.
Syracuse Sidelines on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By SOS, Syracuse Orthopedic Specialists. SOS is total orthopedic care. And by the Fox Auto Dealerships. Take the short drive to Auburn or find us on the web at foxdealerships.com.
Welcome back to the show. The Syracuse defense rose to the challenge on Saturday, holding the high-scoring Virginia Tech offense to a season-low 17 points. Davon Ellison making his presence felt. The sophomore defensive back had 11 tackles to lead the Orange. For the season, Ellison is third on the team in stops with 48. He also forced a fumble, and in Week 2 against Louisville, Ellison recorded his first career interception. For more on SU's talented DB, here's Brian Higgins.
Well, Davon Ellison, 11 tackles last week, really led the defense. And Davon, before we get into this game, take us into the post-game locker room. It's gotten a lot of play. Everyone's watching it. What was that moment like for you guys?
It was just crazy. It was a lot of excitement, a lot of hard work that got shown in the game. So everybody was happy. We went into the game knowing we could beat these guys, and we just executed, and things just went our way.
Coach said you were the defensive MVP for the team after the game. What kicked up about your level in this game against Virginia Tech?
I knew a few guys on Virginia Tech, and I just really wanted to beat a nationally ranked team.
Now here's Boston College. They're struggling in the league. You guys are trying to keep it rolling. What's the key to keep it rolling here this week?
We just got to stay focused, communicate, make sure we stay with each other, and just do what we got to do.
All right, Davon, good luck this week.
Thank you.
That's Davon Ellison. Matt, let's send it back to you.
And welcome to the film room with Coach Babers as we look over a star for each team. And for Syracuse this week, Coach, it's Davon Ellison. A couple of big games recently, including Virginia Tech. He's one of your smaller guys that hits the hardest.
Well, let's take a look at Davon, the little giant.
Coming up here to hit Bucky Hodges, the 6'7", 260-some-odd pound tight end.
You know, the cool thing about Davon is when he hits somebody, you can close your eyes and you can hear it. And you close your eyes, you wouldn't have to have sight at all, and you would know that that's probably Davon hitting somebody because he always gives it his all.
Davon listed at 5'9", 177, like Antoine Cordy, who's out right now due to injury, another small guy that packs a big punch.
I always thought my favorite 19 was Lance Allworth. I think I'm going to have to switch it up to Davon.
Big hit there. In this case, a big back that he finds and runs support.
Unbelievable game by him. Guy, you wish you had 11 of them because they would all be able to play.
Next is a pass play by Virginia Tech and a little bit more of a center field type role for Davon. What's he do here?
Well, here's he's reading the quarterback's eyes. He's got a great jump. He's going to have an opportunity for an interception here. And I just think maybe it was just a little bit too much traffic and it surprised him. Wish he would have caught it, but I'm not mad at him.
So a deflection there on a key play. And you can watch that he's standing right over the eyes of the quarterback, Gerard Evans, in this case, along the hash mark.
Exactly where he's supposed to be, perfect position. He'll come up with it next time.
Okay, now in our All-22 segment, we will focus on Boston College and running back Davon Jones, another of the bigger backs that you're going to see. You talk about Ellison, 177. Jones goes some 230, but he can tote it and catch the ball out of the backfield.
You know, there's no doubt that the bigger backs always, especially in rain games and later on in the season, you can hit these guys. They don't move very quickly. Here's a great job of him coming out of the backfield on the wheel route, showing how good his hands are. But these guys are trying to wear you down. That's what big backs do. Later on in the game, they start getting yards where maybe they weren't getting those yards in the first part of the game.
Misty conditions there in the Buffalo game for BC, and we may see similar conditions on the weekend here in Chestnut Hill. How about the finish on this run?
Boom, knocking people backwards again, that big back mentality, running through there. DB's getting tired of hitting him, and then all of a sudden he'll pop a big run on you.
Got an opportunity in this play to seize a big hole created by his offensive line on the left.
Again, you can see him stepping through on the counter here, and then a DB diving at his legs. They want no part of him up high.
And the last play in the red zone, something that's common in college football. Throw it to him out of the backfield behind the line of scrimmage. He's got lots of room to run.
Yeah, this is a legal pick play, so to speak. Those receivers can go down and block early because the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, which is a college football rule.
All right, something to look forward to in the matchup with BC this coming Saturday, and an important one for the Orange on the road.
Thanks, guys. This week's matchup pits Eric Dungey and the Syracuse offense, ranked 9th in the country in passing, against a Boston College defense that's ranked 4th overall. We'll see who has the edge. Up next, everyone has their favorite sports teams, so we asked the players to tell us who they root for. Orange Pop is next. Stay with us.
Syracuse Sidelines on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is sponsored by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places. Krause Hospital, the official hospital of Syracuse University Athletics. Remember these 4 words. Take me to Krause. And by Drivers Village. Visit dvoffers.com.
Welcome back to Syracuse Sidelines. The Orange, the Yankees, the Mets, the Bills. We all enjoy cheering for our favorite sports teams. So who do the Syracuse football players root for? It's the subject of this week's Orange Pop. Brought to you by Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
What are your 3 favorite pro teams, any sport?
Okay. Red Sox is the #1 for the MLB. For NFL, I used to be a huge Colts fan because they took a lot of Syracuse guys, and growing up in the area, I used to love following them into the NFL.
I'll say the Indianapolis Colts, NFL. Basketball, Golden State Warriors. Baseball, Boston Red Sox.
I'll take the Knicks. You know, I'm hometown. You know, they wasn't that good, but you see now, Phil Jackson got them looking right. So I'll take that.
The crazy thing is I grew up a Colts fan. My brother that plays for the Falcons grew up as a Falcons fan. So, you know, he can have the Falcons, but I'm always stick with the Colts.
My 3 favorite teams, Giants. Whatever team LeBron is on.
I'm kind of migrating slowly towards the Bills. It's kind of tough, to hop on a Bills bandwagon that doesn't exist yet, but we're trying.
I like Miami U, but I can't like them right now because I'm playing football and we both in the ACC.
I'm not really a fan of having a favorite team, so I'll just stick with the whole New York and just watch the whole sport as like just enjoying it. But I'll root for New York though.
FC Barcelona, LA Galaxy, and Manchester United.
New York Giants, diehard New York Giants fan. Hope that don't hurt my draft stock. NBA, Chicago Bulls. I gotta go Yankees because family love Yankees. I got Yankee hats, Yankee shirts because of family.
I would say the Eagles, the New York Knicks, and I have two favorite NFL teams actually, so I like the Seahawks as well.
Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies. I'm a Philly boy.
Big Phillies fan. That's definitely number one. If I had to choose a hockey team, I'd say the Flyers. And any of the Pennsylvania teams for football, I'll root for the Eagles usually, but I'll root for the Pittsburgh too if they're doing well. That doesn't really matter to me as long as Pennsylvania teams are winning. I'm okay.
Well, we're getting to know the players in these Orange Pop segments, and you've got some guys. I find it interesting how they make their choices. Some with the regional that we know and expect. Zaire Franklin likes all the Philly teams. Some guys, I think, Coach, are just front runners. What's going on with that?
I think that there's probably a balance. You got some family ties, and you got some guys that just want to be out in front, always a Yankee fan or always a Dallas Cowboy fan, I think.
What about you? What are your teams growing up? You've lived all over the country, grew up in San Diego.
Here's the deal with the teams. Now, it's a little bit of a story, but it's all true. My dad graduated from Houston Yates High School. My mom was from Houston Yates High School, okay? So they're Texas people. So they were Dallas Cowboy fans. And all my brothers and sisters, I got 2 brothers, 3 sisters, they were all Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, I was a little bit of a rebel. I'm sorry to admit that, but I was a little bit of a rebel. So they would all come in and say, hey, we're going to go watch the Dallas Cowboys because that's our favorite team. And I'd say, hey, that's not my favorite team. I'm not going to watch it.
Not the Steelers.
And I was little now. And they were like, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. I said, I'm not. They said, well, what's your favorite team? And I didn't know another team at the time. And I was being challenged by my brother in front of the whole family. And I turned my eyes to the TV, and it was the Cincinnati Bengals were playing somebody in black and white. So I said, the Cincinnati Bengals are my favorite team. And they're like, you don't know anybody on the Cincinnati Bengals. I said, the Cincinnati Bengals are my favorite team, that's it. So my whole life, I had to start studying the Cincinnati Bengals. Ken Anderson, Isaac Clark, Boobie Clark, all the Cincinnati Bengals, and I had to follow them through all those years. And they were bad, and I had to keep claiming them all the time.
Got you ready for the orange helmet that you see here week to week. Robin?
Well, at least the Bengals wear orange. Coming up, Coach Babers gives us his keys to grounding the Eagles. Plus, he wore number 39 and was a legend in the SU backfield. This week, our orange spotlight shines on Larry Zonka. That's next when Syracuse Sidelines returns.
Syracuse Sidelines on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by the Summit Auto Group, reaching new heights in customer satisfaction.
Welcome back to the show. He's one of only 7 players in Syracuse football history to have his jersey retired. He wore the number 39 for the Orange and twice led the team in rushing. This week, our orange spotlight shines on fullback Larry Zonka. A 2-time All-American, Zonka personified the term power running back. He was a bruiser on the field who powered his way through opposing defenses. With Zonka and Floyd Little teaming up in the backfield, the Orange featured a potent 1-2 punch. Twice during his career, Zonka led the Orange in rushing, and to this day he remains 4th on the school's all-time career rushing list with nearly 3,000 yards. Here are some other notable facts on Larry Zonka's career. In 1968, he was drafted in the first round by Miami, where he led the Dolphins to 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. He was MVP in Super Bowl 8 and was part of Miami's perfect season in 1972. He's also a member of both the Pro Football and College Football Hall of Fames, and was also named to the Syracuse All-Century team. In 2007, Zonka's number 39 jersey was raised to the rafters at the Carrier Dome. For more on this Syracuse legend, let's go back to Matt and Coach Babers.
Coach, our orange spotlight on the former All-American from Syracuse, Larry Zonka, one of the all-time greats in the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame. And how'd you like to be going on the road into Boston and into weather with somebody like that?
I'll take two. You know, Larry Zonka, fantastic player. I remember him with the Super Bowls with the Miami Dolphins, power runner. One of those guys that when you look at, you're like, he's not pretty to look at. But the more and more you watch him, you got to embrace what he did and how he carried the football and how he moved people so that he could get yards. He was outstanding.
Coming up in the game, he was more of a defensive end type, but then they realized he had a talent for holding and running the football. That mentality seemed to help him, huh?
You know, there's an old saying in football is that big backs bring championships, and I've never been against a big back. So if there's a big back out there that wants to come to Syracuse, I'll take a look at you.
All right, you'll see a big fella in the backfield for Boston College this week. They're playing a redshirt freshman, Davon Jones, that we talked about. This is a team that tries to run the ball, but certainly is tough against the run as well. What are the challenges?
I think the challenges is, first of all, that defense. They're a top 5 ranked defense, outstanding, well coached. And then you turn it around and their offense is very opportunistic. They hand that ball to that big running back. Their quarterback is a grad transfer from Kentucky, threw for over 5,000 yards. With his arm and his legs and that back, it makes them very difficult.
All right, looking forward to it. Always fun for the fans, I think, to make this trip through the foliage into New England and Boston College this weekend. It'll be a 12:30 kickoff Saturday in Chestnut Hill. Coach, thank you and wish you the best. Robin, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. Just a programming reminder, following the Boston College game on Saturday, tune into Orange Overtime at 5 o'clock. We've got complete post-game coverage with highlights, analysis, and Coach Babers' news conference. That's Orange Overtime, Saturday at 5, right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, your home for Syracuse University Athletics. That's it for Syracuse Sidelines with head coach Dino Babers. For Matt Park and everyone here at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, thanks for watching.
Dungey takes, fakes to Strickland, hit as he throws, lob down the middle, caught by Herb at the 35-30. He's got a chance at the 20, 15, 10, and in. He wants to throw, puts it in the air, has Brisley, catch made to the 45, Green in front,